is this organic crop breeding, and I have different crops. Over here, first of all, I have the purple wheat now harvested. Here I'm breeding for different wheat, common wheat festival with different seed colors, mainly the blue ones and the purple ones. But it's harvested now, and I'm screening different varieties for resistance to common bunt. Over here, I'm making a screening program where we test the different varieties for common bunt resistance. I have here, I think, 350 varieties that we infect with bunt spores and then see if they are susceptible or not. Of course, we want to find resistant varieties, but we are also interested in making linking the resistance of the varieties to genetic markers. So at the University of Copenhagen, they are making genetic markers of these varieties, and then we see if there's a link between the resistance in the field and the different markers. As Philip Stefan, who's in charge of that PhD student. On the other hand, when you take common bunt spores, it's just a bulk of different spore populations. But we also take, for example, this variety could be infected either with spores from some other varieties or spores from their own variety. And by taking spores from this particular variety and reinfect the same variety, that's more similar to what's happening in the field and farmers' field. And then you get another virulence. So I'm developing in this way, actually breeding for virulence in different against different resistance genes. So I'm building up a collection of bunt virulence in this way. If we go further here, and we will go into this is winter oat. Winter oat is not grown in Denmark. The winter hardiness is very poor in winter oat. So here I'm breeding for winter oat, and I'm mainly breeding for winter hardiness. So I'm crossing different winter oat varieties, and then I'll grow it as a composite cross population, and this way select winter hardiness. Here, this is naked barley. This is sown rather late, there was still green before some of the weather was mature. But here I'm selecting conservation varieties for quality purposes, mainly baking quality, so the organoleptic quality, how it does it taste, how does it feel in the mouth. Actually winter wheat, but it's sown in the spring. The purpose is to find lines that is actually able to be sown in the field, undersown in for example, a barley field, then or peas. Mix winter wheat with peas, and then harvest the peas the first year, and the second year harvest the winter wheat. You can see here in some varieties, this is a winter wheat variety sown in the spring, and then actually the tillers comes up. So it's not a real winter wheat, whereas this one, there are no tillers, meaning this is a true winter type. So if this one would be mixed with peas, then the first year there will be nothing here, you can harvest the peas, and then the second year this will be tilled, you can harvest that the second year. This way you don't need to plow and till the soil in the water. So it's meant for an organic way of making reduced tillage. So I'm screening these 250 varieties for the ability to grow this special way. Here we have some special kinds. This is all spring wheat, but different kinds. This one is P8030220, which is Chinese winter species, and as we can see, it's very poor performance when it's grown in Denmark. But I have then crossed it with Danish spring wheat, and then it looks more like this. So it's not true P8030220. Some of them looks very much like P8030220, but it's actually a cross between Estivum and P8030220. And the reason is they have these giant blooms and especially a very big seed. So I'm selecting for seed size, and I get the trait from this Chinese species. The small one is Indian dwarf Triticum svævekokken. It also has a special trait that they have very small but circular seed, and I would like to have this circular seed because for some of the colored grains, then they will look nice on the table when you have this circular seed. So this is also, of course, very poor performance. It's a land race I found when I was in India a few years ago, and of course it's not meant to be grown in Denmark, but I can use it for crossing as long as they can survive. I have other special species. This is Triticum Zukowski, which is very special variety. It has einkorn gene, whereas normal wheat comes from emmer. This one actually comes from einkorn, and also have a G genome, which is very rare in wheat. So here, and the funny thing is, the first years I grew it looked almost like the Indian and Chinese varieties. There were hardly any seeds to harvest. But after a few years, they sort of adapted. I can't really explain how they do it. It's not crossings, it's not mutations, but somehow it's managed to adapt and develop into a reasonable crop, I would say. And now we'll look for what traits they have, baking quality and other traits. I'm also crossing it. This is normal spring wheat, about to mature. I've crossed many different varieties, and then I will develop a composite cross population of spring wheat. I'm doing it in different ways, so still they're separate. And here we have more purple wheat. We can start seeing the colors. Start to emerge now. There will be some of them have started to have some colors, so they will be black or red. They have different colors. We have some problems growing durum wheat in Denmark. This is a normal commercial durum wheat. So as you can see, they are very short. Because they belong in the Mediterranean area, and when they come up to the Nordic countries, they get very short because of the day length, which is very poor for organic conditions because we cannot compete with wheat. So I'm selecting here durum types with a longer straw. As you can also see, it's very poor performance when this year was very cold in the spring, and they also susceptible to fusarium. So here I'm selecting for varieties that has a better performance, higher straw length, and also resistance to diseases. This is millet. We have two different kinds of millet. This is the Italian foxtail millet. And it's susceptible to frost, and it doesn't really like the cold weather in Nordic countries. So I'm here mainly selecting for earliness. I want varieties that can mature and be harvested when it's still summer in Denmark. But as you can see, this variety is much later than these ones, so I will select for earliness. That's the main criteria. And the same goes for the common millet, panicum millet. This is cross-pollinating, and this is self-pollinating, so breeding methods. You can see I've made some selections down there for a little label of the varieties that I like. And over here is a very special spring wheat that I like very much. This is Triticum militine. This is the species that's called a Sanduri or Triticum timofevi, but this is actually free threshing wheat. It looked also awful in the first years I grew it, but now it looks like a crop. So I expect a lot from this species because it's free threshing. It's very special to know that it's not ground in further back you can see some spring oats. This naked spring oat that I'm selecting for the quality of the kernel. And this is about it.